Oh, there. Now it is.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much for joining us again. My name is Salome Mwangi with the Idaho Office for Refugees, the Refugee Speakers Bureau. And today I have the honor and the privilege of chatting with Fowzia Adan. It's funny, we thought that it was recording, and then I just realized about 5 minutes in that it's not. This feels like a little bit of deja vu. So, Fawzia, thank you so much for joining us. I know that you were originally from Somalia, came through Kenya, and then to the US.
Yes, yes.
Tell us what that journey was like, because I think you were pretty young then.
Mm-hmm. I was. We came to Kenya about, well, we're here now 8 years.
Hmm.
So, well, we moved from Somalia to Kenya.
Hmm.
Um, it was hard. My mom had to come with us to Kenya and then lived there for a while. It was amazing. We had a little at-home restaurant where my mom was running, and all of us were part of the business. It was an amazing memory. And came here in 2012. Um, and since then, been doing great things. Um, you know,
Wow. So your mom has been the pillar of
she
your
had
family.
everything.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we would, I, you know, with God's grace and my mom's strength and resilience, we're here stronger, um, in a better situation, and everything goes back to her.
Now, this is what I'm really finding amazing, even as we're chatting, is that whatever your mom started in Kenya in order for you to survive, running the restaurant and running it with you guys, she has replicated after you came here with the daycare that she set up.
As a childcare provider, yes, it's always a family business. So right now, she runs a successful family in-home childcare.
Uh-huh.
Um, just bought her own house in 2017,
Hmm.
where we're running the childcare, and everybody's taking part of it, and it's just amazing.
Wow. What's the name of the childcare business?
At Tawakkal Daycare,
And what does a tawakal mean?
it means faith in God, faith in Allah. We as Muslims believe that Allah has everything in His hand.
Hmm.
We are destined our destiny is all in Allah's hand. We as humans only can work hard,
Hmm.
and in the effort, the rest, Alhamdulillah, comes because Allah gave it to us.
Amazing. So, as we were chatting, is when I realized, wow, she ran a restaurant from the house in Kenya.
Hmm.
And then she came to the US, and now she's running a daycare
Yeah.
from the house in the US.
Hmm. The first year she started as a housekeeping, you know, that was the first job she got.
Mm-hmm.
And the childcare program through Janice
Mm-hmm.
is what helped her set up her own childcare at
Uh,
her own apartment back then, in 2013. Got everything, supported us through Kate, Terry, a lot of amazing ladies, a lot of amazing people behind, helping and supporting her start up that business and get it, where it is today.
Amazing. Tell me a little bit more about the daycare, because I know that the daycare model that you run is not the daycare model that everybody runs,
Hmm.
especially because you're working amongst the refugee population. So,
Yeah.
what does running a daycare within the refugee population look like?
We provide more support, right?
Mhm.
Because we've been there, whether that's we do transportation for the kids
Mhm.
to and from, for most of the kids, to and from the childcare,
Mhm.
and some of the parents, anything that they need, whether that's shopping, whether that's taking them to work, whether they don't hesitate giving us a call
Mhm.
and setting appointments, whether that's help as a translator, you know everything that they need.
So, you're not just running a daycare,
Mhm.
you are literally supporting the community in any way that you can, whether it's language services or it sounds like a little bit of social integration to where you tell them this is how you shop, this is where you shop, this
Mhm.
is how you live life now that you're here in the US.
Yes. Yes, it's just amazing because I know when we came here, we got a lot of support from different people, just understanding the culture and
Mhm.
going here, we know what it feels like not having a car. Because in America, of course, without a car,
You're not
there's,
going anywhere.
yeah, you're not anywhere. So we try to provide that support as much as we can.
And you continue to do that even today?
Yes,
You had mentioned that there was a time when your mom was sick and she had to go through surgery.
she did. Last year, March, she had to go through a big surgery
Mhm.
because she had a uterine tumor. Um, thank goodness it was not, cancerous. It was
Hmm.
benign, and they were able to remove it and um, get it all together. But at that time, she did not have health insurance. So here's the part where things get muddy, right?
Right.
So we got like a huge bill going on that we're still paying off, but with God's grace, we're able to provide. My mom's able to provide for the family and um, do her bills and everything.
Wow. And along with that, so how many siblings do you have?
I have four siblings, so one older than me,
Uh-huh.
three younger ones. Of course, I'm in college. I go to Boise State, and my older brother goes to Boise State as well.
Mhm.
Uh, just got accepted into the social work program. That he,
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. And I have the little one who goes to CWI, who's the younger than me, who's doing business.
Mhm.
And then the two younger ones are in high school, junior and sophomore.
So your mom is juggling a business that runs from the house, three kids in college, and two teenagers.
Yes, and three grandkids.
Three grandkids.
Three grandkids.
Amazing.
Yeah,
And one of those is yours.
one of those is mine.
What's your daughter's name?
Her name is Manal.
How old is Manal?
She is 3 years old now.
So you have your hands full as well.
I do. With a little one that's full of, herself. As they should be at this age, right?
At any age, actually.
Yeah.
So tell me what the name Manal means.
When I first named her, I didn't think of the meaning behind it, right? So I
Mhm.
Googled it because I named her after my um, aunt from my mom's side's daughter. So I was like, it's a beautiful name. So
Mhm.
why not? Because I initially wanted to name her my mom's name,
Uh-huh.
but we got to an agreement that we were gonna name her Manal at the
Uh-huh.
end. But it means achievement. I googled it and it said achievement according to Google,
Wow. And
which,
that
yeah, which really stands up for her name.
and it sounds like the story of your life and the story of your family's life. It's about achievement.
It is about achievement,
And it's about achieving against all odds.
definitely. Yeah,
Because when we were chatting earlier, you told me that you're not you're divorced now.
I am.
And I know many people would say, well, many people in the African communities don't get divorced, or many people in the Muslim community don't get divorced. So,
If two people are in an agreement,
mhm,
there's nothing wrong with it. We grew up in a culture that puts a whole another label on divorce, right? If
mhm,
the two people can be good with each other and understand, even if you have kids in between, you know that you do what's best for those kids, right? And if the best thing is to live a separate life, there's nothing wrong with it. If you guys cannot find a common thing to work on,
mhm.
then it's better if you guys have a good life in whatever way that you guys are at, and Alhamdulillah, things are, which Alhamdulillah means thank Allah.
Right.
Um, things are good, me and her dad are in good terms, which is what matters. I'm her mom, that's her dad, and it's gonna forever stay like that.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now, you started college when you were pregnant with Manal.
I was. I remember I was going and some people were telling me, "Oh my God, isn't that a lot?" But again, Alhamdulillah, my pregnancy was not as hard as a lot of people, because people have different bodies and they'll experience different things. When I was first, everybody was like, "Oh my God, you're gonna have morning sicknesses. You're gonna have this," which majority of people, women have,
Right.
and I absolutely was lucky that I didn't have a much difficult pregnancy.
Okay.
So it was easy through going to my first and halfway through the second semester, and I had her the spring semester of that year.
Wow. And
Yeah,
you're still in college and you're about to graduate?
I am, which is exciting. I'm just ready to be done. Well, you're never done, right? I'm out here thinking I'll be done, but then the master's is in my other side of it.
Oh, the
But
master's program is already beckoning to you, huh?
exactly. So I am hoping that, well, I know I'm going to graduate this December, inshallah,
Mhm.
um, as far as I'm planning right now, so that I'm taking summer classes right now so that I can graduate in the fall. Once I get my bachelor's, it's going to be in public health.
Mhm.
Um, Hopefully, I'll go straight into my master's, or depending on how things are, and get that master's.
Amazing. So you have juggled going to school, taking care of your daughter,
Mhm.
supporting your mom at home,
Mhm.
and you've run with it.
I've run with it, and goes back to my mom, right? I always say if I can be even 50% as strong and resilient she is,
Uh-huh.
can get through life, right? And you know, she's just been there. Even as we were talking before, I told you, going to school when I had Manal, it
Mhm.
was just you kids, little ones, don't sleep at night most of the time, so she was there for me in the morning. I could go to sleep and then go to class and go get my lessons done, and then I would come back and she would still tell me, just go to sleep and have some rest. So may Allah bless her.
So your mom truly has been the wind beneath your wings and the wings of the family.
Definitely, 100%.
Wow. Now, as we were chatting, you said that when the war broke out in Somalia, your family got separated with your dad. Where is your dad right now?
My dad is in Uganda right now. We started a process for him like 5 6 years ago.
Hmm.
So 2 years into when we were here, or a year and a half, and he's still like, when things started getting a little bit better, the travel ban happened, and um things started slowing down. But thank goodness we're citizens now, so we're able to go visit him here and there. My mom and my brother were able to visit November of last year
Hmm.
and got to see him, and it was really nice.
It must have been quite the reunion for your mom and your brother to find your dad
They
in
had a great
Uganda.
time. Yeah, they had a great time. The pictures and the video calls were just great.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm really happy for you, and I pray that he will soon be able to join you guys here,
hopefully, yes. Thank you.
and then you guys can truly, really celebrate the amazing journey that you've been on, all of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I also know that we were chatting about how people think that refugees have just one story and that their story is about making it from their country through the fighting, through the challenges, and then coming here. And you were talking about how challenging sometimes it is talking about that.
Yeah, I know it's challenging, not only for me, right? A lot of people have a hard time because we know that's our story, right? We
Mhm.
know that's there, but we know what we have now too. You know what we've been through and what we overcame and where we are. Um, so most of the times it stops at where we stopped at,
Mm.
right? But what happened now? I always take my mom's story as an example. Yes, she went through a whole lot, but she came here, bought her own house, took care of 5 kids on her own, got
Mhm.
them to college. I am really grateful for having all different scholarships that I used to go to college with. But she was, as you said, she was that pillar. She was like, okay, we're going to college, no matter the difficulties, you guys are going to get your education. I'm there to support you. you know I am there to do what needs to be done. And that's you know and 8 years later now, she owns her own business, has her own house with 5 kids and 3 grandkids. It's just amazing. It's not all about what happened, but it's about what's here now.
So it's about not letting the story stop,
Stop. Yeah.
getting out of the refugee camp or the country where you're seeking refuge, but it's also contrasting the story with where you have come from and what you're doing today,
Hmm.
and showing that your journey didn't limit you. If anything, it opened you up even more.
Even more. Yeah.
Because some of the things that sometimes really do drive me crazy is when I hear people saying things like Africans don't do that or Somali women don't do that. And yet, chatting with you, I'm almost feeling like, well, this is not what I've heard about Somali women. I thought they were supposed to stay at home and cook for their kids and, you know, very domesticated. And yet, your mom is entrepreneurial and she's going out and she's trying new things and she's encouraging her children to go to college, regardless of whether they're men or women.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, as we talked, as I said, and there's nothing wrong with staying home with the kids and working and everything, but there's more things that you can open up to, right? When a woman stays home and takes care of her kid, that doesn't mean someone told her to. It's because she wants to,
Right,
right? If I want to, I would love. There's nothing more than being a mom 24/7.
right.
It's 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 the most joyful thing ever. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, when we tell our stories, it's important we're not telling it in a way that puts label in a whole community, right?
Mm, right,
As we talked about it before, when you say, oh, African women don't do this, or Somali women don't do this, you're already putting that label on Somali women. The next person that hears something, even if they're not from the same background, they'll be like, oh, you don't do that though.
right.
Okay, so what do I do? Because it seems like what I do better, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just it starts forming some kind of ignorance and things that people start forming in their mind about
Mm,
certain ways to view certain people.
right.
So I always say we just have to be careful how we you know if you're say talking about your story, amazing, but your story is your story, it's not the community story,
Exactly.
right? So it's very important that we stop putting those labels so that others are not putting those labels on us as well.
I love what you said earlier about, I think within the Somali community, just like in the Kikuyu community that I come from, I remember when I went through my own breakup and then the divorce. After everything was over, my mother, when I was talking to my mom lives in Kenya, and she told me something like, "Well, now I need you to know that you are a reject." And there's a Kikuyu word for reject, as in somebody who's been rejected.
Mm-hmm.
And the connotation about it is that somebody took you, didn't like you, and so now they're returning you. Almost like damaged goods, no longer wants you, no longer needs you. kind of like how here you buy something at Walmart or whichever other store and you don't like it, or it wasn't suitable, so you take it back.
Yeah.
And I remember really feeling devastated by that label, but I loved what you said. I don't know if you remember what you said.
And a lot of women feel that, right? But when somebody tells you that, Somali people have a label for that too. But when people say that, I always say I'm Fowzia,
Right,
right?
right.
Because that doesn't change. That doesn't change. I think most of these things get pushed on us because we let it be pushed on us. Like if somebody put that label on me and I'm like, oh, okay,
Right,
now I'm that. And I start telling myself that
right.
that's not going to end well.
Nope.
You know, now you're doubting yourself. You're like, well, what's, now I have this label. You might start, even if somebody doesn't say it, you automatically, your brain just puts that word in front of their mouth and it's like reflecting and you're like, oh, they're going to say that. But, at the end of the day, it doesn't change who you are. We
Does
just
not
need,
at all.
yeah, we just need to stop taking it,
So
right?
true.
Yeah, when somebody puts a label on you, it's very important that you say no. You know, that's not what it is, right? Those labels are there, now, because we can't really do anything about it. But the more we say, okay, it's a norm, it's normal, the
Mhm.
more it's going to continue. But you just have to find a way to say, I'm Fozia at the end, or I'm Salome. you
Exactly.
know?
I don't know if you've heard the story of the donkey that was being buried. It was supposed to be sick and tired and it couldn't work anymore. And so the owner uh, was trying to bury it while it was still alive. And so he threw it in the grave and he started throwing dirt on it. And what this donkey did is, rather than just sit there until the dirt had accumulated, is every time dirt would be thrown on it, it would shake the dirt off and then step on it. And eventually that donkey was able to climb out of that hole. So what I'm hearing you saying is that, yes, people are throwing these labels on me, but I shake them off and I step on them. And I
Yeah.
use that to climb out of that hole rather than wait and get buried under that. And that is such a powerful message to us as women, or to anybody else who people are trying to bury while you're still alive.
Yeah.
Shake it off, stand on top of it, and
Yeah.
eventually you will climb out of that hole that somebody is trying to bury you.
It's hard, it's painful, it will poke you,
Oh,
but
yeah.
the more you stand up, the more you know that pain is gonna get less and less, because if you let it bury you, it's just gonna you know drown you all the way in.
It,
And
it, it will definitely, it can be the end of you. I
yeah,
know that these are really interesting times we're living in with COVID-19, and you've had to, school has obviously shifted to online classes only. But this is also the holy month of Ramadan.
yeah,
How is it looking like for you doing Ramadan with social distancing and
it's a different Ramadan, but alhamdulillah, we can't go to the mosque, because we got to keep everybody safe. We got to keep ourselves, our elders, everyone around us safe.
Mhm.
uh, um, the mosque is one place, if we go, we have to be hugging, and it's a community place. So
Correct?
it's important for us to keep everyone safe.
Mhm.
So I am we're praying at home. I think this is a chance where everybody's gonna get in the family gets to pray together, sit together, because usually it's we eat and then we're going to the mosque,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
um, Sometimes not, maybe the whole family can go together. uh,
Mhm.
but these are times, although they're difficult, there's more family togetherness in it.
Wow. So
Yeah,
it's brought your family even closer together, because you sound like you're already a close-knit family, but it's brought you even closer together.
closer together, yeah.
Um, have you been able to share this time with other people, like through Zoom, or because I know like during Easter or Passover, families were able to share it's really not sharing a meal, but it's like sharing the time
Hmm.
through Zoom so that at least you can see the other party and the other person as you break your fast. Because I know that iftar is a big deal
It's a big deal.
during, yeah.
We haven't been able to do that, but I have one friend that usually, we FaceTime, and we're always talking, and she just graduated from Boise State with a bachelor's this semester in social work, Fatuma.
Yes.
But me and her really connect because of the mosque, right?
Uh-huh.
Because we're volunteers, and we used to like get the community iftars and all that. That's the person that so far that I do those video chats and talk and have that connection with while we're still distanced, but that's a great idea, but we've just been, as I said, just as a family sitting
Mm.
together and focusing on that.
The other question that I have is just thinking about the daycare, and you're picking up kids and you're dropping them. I don't know how many kids are still coming to the daycare, obviously, because parents have been affected
Hmm.
because of unemployment. Has COVID-19 changed the way you're running the daycare, or?
In the sense of social distancing, yes, because most of the parents that I have are
Mhm,
considered essential workers. So some
mhm,
of them work nursing homes, right? Some of
mhm.
them are work at schools. Some of them work, although schools are closed, some schools need the people there that, do the cleaning and whatnot. Some of them work at, stores that
I
are
still,
open.
right.
So uh, not a lot of change. This is, I always say, you know, my the parents that I have
Mhm.
are still working.
Okay.
90% of them. I only had one family that was affected by the, because she was working at a place where there was more contact,
Mhm,
and she had to stop working. But other than that, things are operating the same. It's just been hard, making the little ones understand, oh, social distancing, 6 feet, because they're so cuddly, and they just want to be together and play together. And so we try to just group them in a certain way that it's safer
mhm,
them not to come in contact with others.
mhm,
Like, I would choose them as families, because majority of them I have as families. So I'd
mhm.
keep each family in a separate section so
Okay.
that it's not, because it is hard. They're used to, their buddies and everything, but nothing major has changed other than, helping those kids with social distancing, and even the parents, just helping them understand what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you are riding the wave of COVID-19, whether it's with school or your business or, well, your mom's business that you help her with,
Hmm.
in a really, in a way that is supporting your community. Kind of, it sounds like the underlying message that you have, you and your mom and your family, is that whatever you do is in support of the community, whether it's language or employment or
Hmm.
whatever other social supports that they need.
Yes.
Cool. Now, it sounds like Manal is somewhere in the background.
Yes, somewhere, because she's like, mommy. But she's somewhere. She's probably with my mom in her room.
Wow. So I
Yeah.
really do appreciate you taking this time to chat with us, and then just bring us into your world a little bit, into your home, for us to get a glimpse of what life really looks like and has been like for you, not just on the journey from Somalia to the US, but also after getting here, how you have managed to navigate that. And you are a pillar to very many other young women who are coming here, and letting them know that they don't have to be defined by where they're coming from, and that any label that they wear should be the label they want to wear, not the label that has been placed on them by their community or even by the community that they're coming into. And I love the way that you said that I don't care about that label. I am Fowzia. I don't care about that label. I am Salome. And to stand, to bring your whole self and to allow your whole self to explore and to grow and to thrive in this new community. So thank you so much, Fowzia. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Salome. It's always lovely having conversation with you. This was great.
It was. Thank you.
Thank you.